Tyrone was a lottery scammer in Montego Bay. 2 years dialing American numbers, draining retirement accounts, calling it survival. He was good at it, real good, until one Friday, a woman named Miss Pearl picked up and answered with a voice that sounded just like home. Tyrone was 22, out of work. A man named Biggs approached him at a Cookshop in Reading, bought him a plate of curry goat, said 3 words, "You sound polite." Next day, Tyrone had a script, 6 burner phones, and a list of retired Americans in Florida. Biggs tell me say, the people them love a young man with manners. Me just have to sound grateful, like me want help them claim the prize. And me did good, you see. Me could make a 70-year-old woman feel like me the angel sent from God. For 18 months, he played the angel, called them mama and auntie, wept with them, prayed with them, and one by one, they sent the money. 500 here, 2,000 there. Tyrone told himself it was just a game. He wasn't holding a gun, he was holding a phone.
But Miss Pearl was different. 73, living alone outside Jacksonville. She believed him immediately. Not because she was foolish, Tyrone later realized, because she was lonely. Her children stopped calling, her husband 20 years in the ground. And Tyrone's voice, his patience, the way he asked about her garden, became the brightest part of her week.
She tell me she grew up in St. Anne. Me laugh and say, "A lie ya tell. Me granny live right deso." She asked me what me granny name. Me tell her, Miss Ivy. And she get quiet, real quiet. She say, "My daughter named Ivy." Me think a coincidence. Jamaica small. Me never think nothing more about it.
Over 3 months, Miss Pearl sent $12,000, every cent.
Then a loan against her house. Then she cashed her life insurance. Tyrone knew she was empty. Biggs pushed for more. Legal fees, transfer taxes. Tyrone kept calling, but her warmth was turning to desperation, the desperation into something hollow. The last time they spoke, Miss Pearl asked him one question. "Tyrone, if I send this last payment, will you finally come visit me, like you promised?" He said yes. He always said yes. She sent the final 2,000. Then the line went quiet. 3 days later, no answer. A week later, Tyrone checked the Jacksonville obituaries, a habit he had, checking if his clients were still alive. And there she was, Pearl Henrietta Johnson, October 14th, pending, financial ruin, phone scam. Tyrone stared at the screen, then went to the bathroom and threw up until there was nothing left. He quit that week, moved back with his mother in Clarendon, took a job washing buses, kept his head down. 3 years passed. Then one Sunday, his mother asked him to clear a storage trunk under her bed. Belonged to his grandmother, Ivy, dead since Tyrone was 6. Photo albums, birth certificates, and at the bottom, a sealed envelope. "Whoever finds this. Marie Deletta, Mahan dem stat shake." My granny write that she did have a twin sister, named Pearl. Them fight when them young. Something about a man. And Pearl go a-fairin' and change her name. Disappear. My granny searched for her all her life. Last thing she hear, Pearl did dare Florida. Ma sit down pon the floor. Ma couldn't get up. Miss Pearl did name Johnson 'cause she marry a American, but she did born a Henrietta. Same like my granny middle name. Twin. Same face. Same voice. My granny sister. Me own family. And me kill her. Me scam her to death. Me make her die alone. Tyrone drove to the coast that night, stood at the edge of the water in Saltmarsh, says he wanted to walk in and not stop, but the tide went out, and he stayed standing. Today, Tyrone counsels young men in Montego Bay before they enter the scam trade, doesn't preach, tells them about Miss Pearl, about the trunk under the bed, about picking up a phone and hearing a voice that sounds like home. Mishan bring her back. Mishan give back the money or the trust. All me can do now is pick up the phone when some young boy ready for start scamming and tell him the one story me wish somebody did tell me. You want to hate Tyrone. I did too. But evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like a young man with good manners and a phone in his hand. Sometimes it looks like survival. Sometimes it looks so ordinary, you don't recognize it until you're standing on a shoreline, realizing you drowned your own blood. The cruelest scams don't steal money, they steal trust. And when trust dies, people follow it. If this story touched you, subscribe, because we're building something real here. DCS, I'm out.